Okay, I know that I have some videos about this and they get regularly get a fair amount of views. So I'm finally going to get to the bottom of this bass, Squier Jaguar bass, crafted in Indonesia with the active pickup thing. I really like it. It's a cool bass. It has neck dive problems. So I'm starting to tip over. So I'm going to get to the bottom of it. I got some Gotoh Res-O-Lite machine tuner things, whatever they're called. There's like a whole long name for them. But anyway, so I'm going to stand up and show you about where this goes, okay, the neck. And it's not at all scientific. And yes, I know I can get a different strap. I can get a better strap. I can get a grippier strap. I don't like that because it pulls the shirt down. I don't like that. And it pulls, you know, I'm tipping over again. And it pulls my hair down. I don't want a grippy strap. I don't want a big, wide strap. I like these straps that I have. I've used them, you know, for decades. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, so here we have the bass. Okay. Now, when I let go of it, okay, it falls about there. Okay. So it looks like it's slightly lower than perfectly straight. Okay. So I'll try it a couple times. And it seems, okay, that time I kind of held it up maybe a little bit higher and let it go, okay, and it definitely went a little bit lower, okay, but I think we can agree that about the halfway, like halfway, you know, from straight up to straight down, so about perfectly level, it's, you know, I don't know, a couple inches below at about the 5th fret or so. So I'm now going to take these heavy tuners off, weigh them, the Res-O-Lite ones that are super light, and weigh them and put them on. They do have a different look and all of that, but you know what? I really like this bass, and the neck dive is a deal breaker. So you know what? If I put on different tuners, whatever, and it has a different look, whatever, if it makes the bass usable, I'm all in. Okay, I already know for a fact that it's going to leave holes in the back of the headstock, the screw holes, because it's a totally different, you know, setup. These are like just the regular kind of Fender bass looking things with the 4 screws. These are like little compact with one little screw that just holds it, and the bolt that holds it down and everything. So anyway, I'm going to go do that, and then I will film along the way, edit it down, and then come back down here and do the kind of stand and drop test and see where the neck ends up. Okay, so stay tuned. Subscribe and all of that. Okay, I took the old tuners off. Okay, and when I just sort of pick them up with the Res-O-Lite, they're definitely heavier. So I'm gonna weigh both of these. So turn that on. On. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, there we go. Okay, and we're gonna do grams. Yeah, grams. Okay, because that'll be more precise. And hopefully, yes, it shows up in the little viewfinder for the camera. Okay, so I'm going to weigh the 4 tuners. And all the screws that go with them. Oh, good heavens. Yeah, they're gonna roll everywhere. Okay, so there were bushings on these that I'm not going to measure, that I'm not going to weigh. So 348 grams, because I ran into a problem. These tuners are too small. They don't fit in the existing holes in the headstock. So if I leave the bushings in for these, which are metal and a little bit heavy, then these will fit without these little surrounds, because it has the little surround for these bushings anyway. So without this, for the Res-O-Lite, then these will fit in the existing bushings from those that are on the base right now. Really, I'm supposed to pop those out, fill the hole with the dowel, glue it and everything, sand it all down, scrape it, down, whatever, and then re-drill the proper sized holes for these. But one, it's a whole lot of work. Two, it is somewhat irreversible, because now if I go to sell the base and I don't want to sell, a $200 base or whatever, $250 base, and I don't want to sell $80 Res-O-Lite tuners with it, I can just take these out and these pop right back in. So, and I tried it. I just kind of put these in and just hand tightened them and tried it, and I think this does it, even with the metal bushings. So 348 for these. So let's make a mess with all these screws. Yeah, they went everywhere. Okay, not so bad. Okay, now with the Res-O-Lites, okay, without, and these have the little hex things on them, without the bushings that come with it. Okay, and here are the 4 screws. These fit into the bushings with a tiny little bit of wiggle. So I think I'm going to put some heat shrink tubing around these, and I think just one little heat shrink around each of them will be enough to sort of tighten it up. The hex nuts on the threaded inserts are going to hold it anyway, and these little screws are really just to keep them from turning side to side. So I'm not that worried about it not being a really super tight fit. I think it'll be totally fine. But the little plastic baggie here is kind of going to be the weight of the shrink wrap, shrink tubing. Yeah, it comes out to like 2 extra grams. So we're at 152 for the Res-O-Lite. So that is way less than half the weight. So it is just about 200 grams less. The other ones were almost 350. These are 150. So 200 less. So just out of curiosity, it's almost like 2.5 tuners. Like, that's pretty crazy, huh? Yeah, it's like almost 2.5 tuners difference. So anyway, now I'm gonna put the Res-O-Lites on, and with the little shrink wrap, and tighten them on and screw them in, and we will see how it looks. But spoiler alert, I think it works. So I put the Res-O-Lite tuners on, and shrink tubing was too thick, so I got a little bit of tape and put it around, like kind of like thin pinstriping tape or something that I just had, and that was too thick. So I found some really thin masking tape, and on a couple of them it fit fine, and on a couple of them it was a little too thick. So I put like half of, around like half of the little threaded insert thing, and got it to fit. But be that as it may, the original tuners had more wiggle in the bushings than these do. And with the clamp, you know, with the hex nut that's going to clamp them in, I'm sure that they're not going to go anywhere anyway. But I just wanted to be a little safe. So let's see how it looks. And I did not string it up because I wasn't thinking, and I didn't bring my ratchet set home. It's at work because I use it there more than I really do at home, and I wasn't thinking and didn't bring it home. But it's all on and everything's there. It's just not, the hex nut inserts aren't tightened, and I haven't strung it up because obviously I need to tighten those. But it's all there weight-wise. So let's see how we look. And if I let go, bam. If I really kind of, but really what I'm doing is kind of, you know, forcing it to kind of inch its way down. But if I'm holding it up like this, okay, and I let go of it, so guess what? It worked. And I'm going to live with this for a little bit, play it a bit, whatever. It seemed moving this end button in one of the previous videos. I taped it up here, and that seems to help. So I think if I need to a little bit more, I can bump it up to here. I'm not sure I'm going to need to. If I really wanted to, if I really like this bass, although I am loath to mod something for no real reason. I really like this bass. I wouldn't want to replace this with one of those, like, you know, high mass ones, because it might change the sound. It probably would change the sound of it. I don't know for the better, but maybe that is an option to add a little more mass here. But I'm thinking that this totally works. So it was like a $80, I got them as a Christmas gift from my parents-in-law, my wife's parents, but still, they're like 80 bucks or something. An $80 fix for a bass that I paid less than $200 for. But you know what? If I really like the bass, which I do, then there we go. So, fixed it. Ta-da!